Hello guys, today I will be talking about 4 different companies. The first one is Amazon, then Disney, then TransUnion, and finally Equifax. Let's begin this video by discussing the company's respective earnings and then their share price. Amazon missed its second quarterly earning from last year. It bet its third, and then it missed its fourth quarterly earning from last year. However, they did beat their first quarterly earning for this year, and this estimate for their second quarterly earning for this year is greater than the estimate for their second quarterly earning from last year. In terms of the share price, at the beginning of 2020, the company was at 100.44 and it reached a peak of 175 during this time. Walt Disney bet its second quarterly earning, it missed its third, and then it bet its fourth quarterly earning from last year. They made their first quarterly earning for this year, and here again, the estimate for the second quarterly earning is greater than the estimate for the second quarterly earning from last year. In terms of the share price, the company at the beginning of the pandemic started at 138, and during this time period, it reached a peak of 189. TransUnion bet its second and third quarterly earning for last year. Unfortunately, it missed its fourth quarterly earning for last year, but it bet its first quarterly earning for this year. However, the company's estimate for second quarterly earning for this year is lower than the estimate for their second quarterly earning from last year. In terms of the share price, the company started off at 91 in 2020, and during this time period, it reached a peak of 121. Equifax bet its second quarterly earning, it bet its third quarterly earning, and it bet its fourth quarterly earning from last year. This went on and they bet their first quarterly earning for this year. Unfortunately, the estimate for their second quarterly earning for this year is lower than the estimate for their second quarterly earning from last year. In terms of the share price, the company at the beginning of 2020 was at 149 and it reached a peak of 292. Now let us talk about the company's respective financial statements. The first company I would like to discuss is Amazon. Amazon increased its revenue from 386 billion in 2021 to 513 billion and 983 million in 2023. Unfortunately, income did not follow the same pattern. In 2021, income was at 21 billion and 331 million, and this fell to negative 2 billion and 722 million. This is bad news to us as investors. Hopefully the company manages to decrease expenses and hopefully income will rise in the near future. The next thing I like to talk about is the company's investment activities. Their investment activity was substantial during this time period. In 2021, it was at negative 59,611,000,000, and it fell to negative 37,600,000,000 in 2023. Now, the company has been purchasing a substantial amount of real estate all across America, and they're probably going to use that real estate to build a new generation of warehouses. We can see this in long-term assets as well. The company has increased its long-term assets from 188 billion to 315 billion in 2023. A lot of property has been bought by Amazon, and we'll see how this investment goes for them. Hopefully the company profits from these large purchases. In any case, that is all I have to say about Amazon. They have a good ratio between current assets and liabilities, and they do have a large amount of payables. The only thing they need to work on is their income, and hopefully their large land purchases profits them in the near future. The next company I'll talk about is Disney. Disney increased its revenue from 65 billion 388 million in 2020 to 82 billion 722 million in 2022. Subsequently, they increased their income from negative 2 billion 442 million to positive 3 billion 553 million in 2022. This is good news to us as investors. Hopefully the company continues to increase their revenue and their income. Unfortunately, that's all I have to say about Disney. Their financial statement is good. The company is in a stable position, but I don't see any substantial investment activity from the company. The company isn't making any significant moves in the market in order to increase their profitability. Hopefully, in the near future, the company moves away from its stagnant position and decides to invest into their future so that they become more profitable to us as investors. That being said, the company is in a safe position. I believe the company could grow in the future. It has potential to grow. So hopefully the company's management decides to invest. In any case, that's all I have to say about Disney. Let us move on to the next company. The third company is TransUnion. TransUnion for those who don't know, is a major credit bureau. It produces credit reports, which are then used by lenders and other businesses in order to make lending decisions. And from their financial report, we can see that the company increased its revenue from 2,530,000,000 in 2021 to 3,709,000,000 in 2023. Unfortunately, the company's income did not fare so well. In 2022, it was at 1,402,000,000 and it fell to 284 million in 2023. This is bad news to us as investors. Hopefully the company manages to increase their income in the near future, and hopefully it reduces expenses as well. The company's income to equity ratio is not good. This indicates to me that the company may have too many long-term assets which do not generate profit for the company. Perhaps it would be wise for the company to sell these long-term assets, the long-term assets which no longer generate revenue, and increase their cash reserves, which fell from 1,842,000,000 in 2022 to 585 million in 2023. Before we move on, I would like to talk about the company's investments. The company acquired 2 companies in the year 2022. Recently, the company acquired Newstar for 3.1 billion and Verisk for 515 million. Newstar provides data services and Verisk provides financial services. These acquisitions are good news to investors. The management clearly wants to expand the company, increase their profitability, and hopefully in the future this will happen. In any case, this is all I have to say about TransUnion. Let's move on to the final company. The final company is Equifax. For those who don't know, Equifax is a data company. It's a company which assimilates and analyzes data for consumers worldwide and for businesses worldwide. And from their financial statement, we can see that the company increased its revenue from 4,127,000,000 to 5,122,000,000 in 2023. Income rose as well. It rose from 526 million to 700 million in 2023. Here we can see that income did drop slightly from 748 million to 700 million. This is a small drop, but hopefully it does not continue into the future. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the company's investment activities. Recently, the company acquired Appriss Insights. Appriss Insights is another data analytics company. It provides services to the government and to businesses in the retail and in the healthcare industry. Equifax purchased the company for 1.8 billion, and this is good news to investors. The company is not stagnant. The managers want to expand the company's influence in the data market, and they want to improve the company's profitability. Hopefully this acquisition benefits the company in the future. One thing I'm concerned about is the company's receivables. The company has a substantial amount of receivables, and this does reduce the company's security. It does reduce their financial condition, and hopefully the company reduces their accounts receivable in the future and increases their accounts payable instead. In any case, that is all I have to say about Equifax. Let us now rate all 4 of the companies. I'm going to place Amazon in the OK section. The company's financial statement is very good. They have a very good ratio between their current assets and current liabilities. They have a good financial condition. They definitely have the opportunity to grow, to increase their profitability, and to increase the value of the company. The only reason I'm placing them in the OK section is because they have negative income for this year. That being said, in the previous years, their income was very high. If the company improves their income, which I believe they will, then I'll place the company in the buy section. But for now, I'll place them in the OK section. Disney is going in the OK section as well. The company is in a stable, a safe position. Their financial statement is good. They have the opportunity to grow. Unfortunately, they are not taking it. They're not making any investments into their future. Management doesn't seem to be making any attempts to grow the company, to increase their profitability, and that is concerning to me. Before I talk about TransUnion, I would like to point out one more thing about their financial statement. As you can see from their financial activity, the company's financial activity was at negative 296 million in 2021. It rose to positive 2,762 million in 2022, and it went to negative 820 million in 2023. The reason why the financial activity rose to 2 billion in 2022 is because of the proceeds from long-term loans. It then dropped to negative 820 million because the company started to repay the long-term loans. We can see this from the long-term liabilities. The company's long-term liabilities were at 4 billion in 2021. They rose to 7 billion 271 in 2022 and then fell to 6 billion 491 million in 2023. We can also see that in cash. The company's cash fell from 1 billion 842 million to 585 million in 2023. It fell to 585 million because the company started to repay the long-term loans. I just wanted to point that out because these are substantial changes in the company's financial statements, and they are worth pointing out. In any case, I am placing TransUnion in the careful section. The company's income did fall from 1 billion 400 million in 2022 to 286 million in 2023. And this is a substantial drop in income, and it is something we need to be concerned about. I would also like to see the results of the company's investments. The company made substantial acquisitions, and hopefully the company will profit from these acquisitions in the near future. But there's also a chance that they will not. The next company, Equifax, is going to be placed in the careful section. The company's income did rise during this time period, but I would like to see a further increase in income. I would like to see the results of their investments, just like with TransUnion. The company did perform a substantial acquisition during this time period, and hopefully they profit from this acquisition. One thing I'm concerned about is the company's receivables. The company has substantial receivables, and this does threaten their stability. It does threaten their financial condition, and I would like to see a decrease in accounts receivable and a further increase in payables. In any case, that is all I have to say about the 4 companies. In the next video, I'll be talking about banks. In any case, that is all I have to say. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe.